Hello friends, welcome to my virtual laboratory. In this particular video, I am going to discuss with you one experiment from BSc Part 3, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. This is from the organic estimations. The title of the experiment is Saponification Value of Oil. The aim of the experiment is to determine the saponification value of the given oil. We need the following apparatus for this particular experiment. Round bottom flask, burette, pipette of 25 cc, volumetric flask of 100 cm cube capacity, and we need water condenser. So this is all apparatus required for this particular experiment. The chemicals required for this estimation are given oil solution in the round bottom flask. We need approximately 0.5 normal alcoholic KOH solution. Then we need exactly 0.1 normal, that is standard SCl solution. Distilled water required for dilution. Phenolphthalein indicator for the titration. So these are the different chemicals required for this estimation. Now we shall discuss the principle behind this saponification experiment. Of course, this is a volumetric method in which we are going to measure the volume of the solution. We know oils are the esters of glycerol with fatty acids. So when these esters of glycerol, these are hydrolyzed with KOH, they form the salts of the fatty acids. These salts of the fatty acids are also known as soaps. And that is why the process is said to be the saponification, formation of the soap. The volume of the KOH solution which is required to hydrolyze the given oil solution, it is to be estimated in this particular experiment. We know the weight of the oil in the given solution. Yes, it is provided by the examiners to the students at the time of practical examination, and from that weight we have to calculate the saponification value of the given oil. So what is this saponification value? It is the amount of KOH in milligrams which is required for the saponification of 1 gram of an oil. Yes, I will repeat. Amount of KOH in milligrams which is required for the saponification of 1 gram of the oil. This is nothing but the saponification value. So how this experiment is involving the reaction? This is the reaction which is involved in this particular experiment. This is the oil, yes, esters of glycerol with the fatty acids. This is nothing but the oil which is on treatment with KOH. Yes, hydrolysis takes place. There is a formation of the glycerol and the potassium salts of the fatty acids which are involved in the oil. So this is the saponification reaction, formation of the potassium salt of the fatty acids. So this reaction is involved in this particular estimation. How the procedure is to be followed? First of all, we have to carry out this hydrolysis of the oil solution. We can take 25 cc of the 0.5 normal alcoholic KOH into the given oil solution which is provided to the student in a round bottom flask, and then we are going to attach the water condenser and reflux on water bath for 90 minutes. What is refluction? Refluction is continuous boiling of the solution in presence of the continuously boiling solvent. When the solvent is going on boiling all the time during that particular heating, it is called refluction. And for this particular, to keep the solvent constantly boiling, we need the water condenser. Yes, the solvent is boiling, it gets evaporated, it passes through the water condenser, and while passing through the water condenser, the vapors are condensed, and again we get the liquid solvent. Yes, that is why we can need a little amount of solvent which goes on continuously boiling while the reflection is going on. This is a long duration of reflection, that is 90 minutes, 1 hour and 1.5 hours is required for this particular hydrolysis. Then after this we are going to cool the solution and dilute it to 100 ml. Let us see with the help of animations how this particular thing steps we can carry out. So first of all, to the given oil solution in the round bottom flask, we are going to add 25 cm cube of given approximately 0.5 normal alcoholic KOH. Alcoholic KOH is provided to us. We can pipette out 25 cc of that and pour it into the given oil solution. This is done, and then we are going to attach the water condenser to this round bottom flask and reflux this on water bath for 90 minutes. Water condenser is properly attached to the round bottom flask. Then it is heated. Water bath is kept for heating. When the water starts boiling, we keep the clay pipe triangle, and on that clay pipe triangle we can set the particular water condenser with the round bottom flask and continue heating this for 90 minutes, that is 1.5 hours. After that, we can cool this solution and dilute to 100 ml. The solution is taken into the 100 ml volumetric flask. Then with the distilled water, it is diluted to exactly 100 ml. Remember well, the marking should be exactly in the level of our eyes, such that the lower meniscus of the liquid passes through the marking exactly. The solution is now exactly 100 cm cube. Shake properly this solution to get the homogeneous solution. The volumetric flask is corked properly, it is inverted and shaken to get the homogeneous solution. Another important thing is that, pour all this solution to the clean and dry beaker. Okay, so this is saponified oil solution. Then we are going to carry out the back titration. Titrate 25 cm cube of this saponified oil solution against 0.1 normal SCl from the burette using phenolphthalein indicator. This is called back titration because we are going to know the amount of KOH that is remained in the particular round bottom flask after hydrolysis. So back titration, in this particular thing, we can pipette out 25 cc of the saponified oil solution into the conical flask. This is the saponified oil solution. 25 cc of this is pipetted out and it is transferred to the conical flask for the titration purpose. Then we are going to add phenolphthalein indicator into this solution. With the addition of phenolphthalein into this solution, the solution immediately turns pink. Why? Because in that solution there is some excess of KOH present which is not utilized for the hydrolysis purpose. So due to the presence of that excess KOH, that is alkali, the phenolphthalein indicator, it turns the solution pink in color. From the burette, now we are going to add dropwise 0.1 normal SCl solution. The end point is pink to colorless. So that point is noted down as end point. Similar titration is repeated to get the constant burette reading. So the constant burette reading is named as YCMQ. This is the titration of saponified oil solution which is diluted to 100 ml, 25 ml of that against 0.1 normal SCl. Blank titration. The procedure is, first of all, we are going to prepare the dilute KOH solution. For this particular purpose, we take 25 cm cube of the KOH from the same bottle using the same pipette of 25 cc to the volumetric flask directly. And to this particular volumetric flask, we are going to add the distilled water to make the volume 100 cc. How this is done? 25 cc of 0.5 normal KOH is pipetted out and it is directly transferred to the volumetric flask. Okay, and then we are going to dilute this to 100 ml. Again, the same precaution is taken that the marking should be in the line of our eyes and the lower meniscus of the solution passes through the marking. This is the method in which how we can get the dilute solution, 100 ml of dilute KOH solution. Again, we are going to shake it properly after corking it, inverting it and shaking it for the purpose of getting homogeneous solution of dilute KOH. Again, we are going to take the same precaution. We are going to pour this solution into another clean and dry beaker. This is nothing but the dilute KOH solution. We are going to perform the titration that is called blank titration with the help of this dilute KOH solution. We are going to titrate 25 cm cube of this diluted solution of KOH with 0.1 normal SCl, again using the phenolphthalein indicator. What we are going to do in this particular titration? We are going to pipette out 25 cm cube of the dilute KOH solution to the conical flask. 25 cc of KOH is pipetted out and it is taken into the conical flask. Then we are going to add phenolphthalein indicator. After the addition of phenolphthalein indicator, the solution, as it is dilute KOH solution, it immediately turns pink in color. Then again, very similar to the back titration, we are going to add 0.1 normal SCl from the burette till the end point is reached, that is pink to colorless. The constant burette reading is named as XCM3. So this experiment is divided into two parts. One is blank titration, in which solution of the dilute KOH is only taken and there is no involvement of the oil solution, of which estimation is being carried out. That's why it is called blank titration. Okay, and in the back titration, the remaining amount is to be known by that titration, and from that we are going to back calculate the amount of KOH that is consumed for the hydrolysis, and that's why that titration is named as back titration. Okay. So the observations of blank titration are: solution in burette will be 0.1 normal SCl solution, solution by pipette 25 cm cube of dilute KOH solution, indicator is phenolphthalein indicator, endpoint is again pink to colorless, and constant burette reading is named as XCM3. The observation table we are going to draw as usual. The constant burette reading is, remember, XCM3. Observations of back titration are very similar to that. Solution in burette is the same, 0.1 normal SCl solution. However, solution by pipette here in this part of the estimation is 25 cm cube of dilute saponified oil solution. Okay, indicator, same indicator, phenolphthalein is being used. Endpoint is also same, pink to colorless. Constant burette reading is named as YCM3. It is very important to understand that during this particular titration, already some amount of KOH has been consumed by the oil solution for the formation of the soap, that is saponification. That is why this Y reading is always less than the X reading. That is, the reading, constant burette reading for the back titration is always less than the constant burette reading of the blank titration. Okay. Similarly, we can have the observation table for this back titration. The CBR is known as YCM cube. Now about the calculations. 25 cm cube of dilute KOH solution required X cm cube of 0.1 normal HCl solution, that is blank titration. Similarly, from back titration we have known that 25 cm cube of the dilute oil solution has required Y cm cube of 0.1 normal HCl solution. So difference between these two readings, that is blank titration reading and back titration reading, X minus Y, will give us the information about how much KOH has been consumed for the saponification of the oil solution, which is present in the 25 cm cube of the dilute oil solution. That is in terms of the 0.1 normal HCl. So amount of KOH consumed in terms of 0.1 normal HCl for the saponification of the oil, that is present in the 25 cm cube of the dilute oil solution, it is nothing but X minus Y. Okay. So if we have diluted the oil solution to 100 cm cube, out of which 25 cm cube of oil solution we have taken for the titration. Okay, and that is why 100 cc of the saponified oil solution would require 4 times the difference, that is in between X and Y. So 100 cm cube of oil solution corresponds to 4 into X minus Y cm cube of 0.1 normal HCl. So this is the information we have received from the observations. Now we shall focus our attention on the calculations. We know 1000 cm cube of 1 normal HCl, that is 1 equivalent of HCl, is corresponding to, it is capable of neutralizing 1 equivalent of KOH. 1 equivalent of KOH, that means 56 grams of KOH. Okay, and that is why 4 into X minus Y cm cube of 0.1 normal HCl will require 4 into X minus Y into 0.1 into 56 divided by 1000 into 1. That is nothing but Z grams of KOH, or Z into 1000 milligrams of KOH. How this calculation is there, we can understand it perfectly with the help of the animations. We know 1000 cm cube of 1 normal HCl corresponds to 1 equivalent, that is 56 grams of the KOH. So how much KOH, weight of KOH will be corresponding to the 4 into X minus Y cm cube of 0.1 normal HCl. We are going to know this particular thing. Yes, 4 into X minus Y into 0.1 into 56 grams of KOH divided by 1000 into 1. If you know this method of cross calculation, you don't have to remember so many formulae. Many a times this type of calculation is involved in our syllabus. So if you can understand this perfectly, yes, 4 into X minus Y into 0.1 into 56 divided by 1000 into 1. That is nothing but the Z grams of KOH. Or we can say, if it is Z grams of KOH, then automatically it will be Z into 1000 milligrams of KOH. The calculations further are, if weight of the oil in the given solution, given sample is given to us, that is W grams, then W grams of oil corresponds to Z into 1000 milligrams of KOH. As saponification value is nothing but the amount of KOH required for saponification of 1 gram of an oil. That amount of KOH must be in milligrams. So W grams of oil corresponds to Z into 1000 milligrams of KOH. Then how much would be the amount of KOH required for the hydrolysis of 1 gram of given oil? That is equal to 1 into Z into 1000 divided by W. Very similar cross calculation is there. This is going to be the saponification value, that is equal to M. So the result of the experiment is sap value of the oil in the given solution M is equal to so and so, whatever it comes after the calculation. So this will be the result of the experiment. What is the homework for today's experiment? Write down the experiment in your journal. Take X is equal to 30.5. Take Y is equal to 22.1 and W is equal to 1 gram. The journal writing method is as usual. At the left hand side, we are going to have the reaction. We are going to mention the observations and observation tables for blank titration as well as back titration. And then we are going to write down the calculations to the left hand side of the journal. Of course, at the right hand side, we are going to write the same things: aim, apparatus, chemicals, principle, procedure and the result. So this is the method in which we are going to represent this experiment in our journal. So how was the experience of my virtual laboratory? Your feedback is required. Please comment on this video which is available on the YouTube. Okay, thank you very much.